Yes, I hope everyone is doing well out there. As usual, my name is Mutabazi. I'm a voice, not an echo. And inspiring the world is my passion. And I'm always here to take you back to the history and the legacy for the people that we still celebrate up to date. Today, I'm happy to bring to you someone that we always imitate during Christmas season, and someone who was the first Ugandan to declare himself to be having the killer disease, HIV/AIDS, and his name is bongole Lutaya. Bongole Lutaya was born in October 1951 to Tito and Justin Lutaya at Mengo. He went to Kasaka Primary School in Gomba and Bujo Junior Schools before joining Kololo Secondary School, where he studied up to 1968. He started his music career after his secondary school singing with Vox National, which performed at the New Life nightclub and other clubs. In 1984, he went to Sweden, where he continued his music career with Savannah Band. Ugandan musician he's the Ugandan musician who was the first prominent Ugandan to give a human face to HIV/AIDS in the country. Before dying of HIV/AIDS, Lutaya spent his remaining healthy time writing songs about his battle with AIDS, releasing his last album, Alone and Frightened, including his famous song Alone, influenced by Swedish duo Roxette's hit song It Must Have Been Love, as well as touring churches and schools throughout Uganda to spread a message of prevention and hope. That was bongole Lutaya that we still remember up to now. A man that really left a legacy in this world and in this country at large. Lutaya was popular in Uganda in the 1960s, and in the 1970s he toured the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Republic of Kenya, and Japan. In the mid-1980s he settled in Stockholm in Sweden. There he recorded his first album called Born in Africa, the song that is played in the whole country of Uganda and the whole of Africa, Born in Africa, which is still popular in Uganda. Lutaya's Christmas album, produced in 1986, remained his most popular album to date. The whole album, whose songs were written in native Uganda, remains the central to Christmas celebrations in Uganda. It includes classics such as Merry Christmas, Zukuka, Tumusinze, Sekukuru, Gloria, Anindri Day, and Katujaguze. To that, bongole Lutaya remains one of the best recording musicians in Uganda. Bongole Lutaya's music incorporates Western pop music style, as observed in songs like Anifa, Sembela, Gloria, the song I Have a Dream, a song to sing. The voice is crying out. Sirimba, Sekukuru, to mention. We remember in 2004, bongole Lutaya, he won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Pearl of Africa Music Awards though he was not alive by then, but that award was taken by the family. Later in 2007, various Ugandan artists came together to re-record some of Lutaya's greatest hits. Bebe Cool's song that he sang about Born in Africa, the Born in Africa song that he sang. Juliana Kanyomo's redid Diana. Irene Namubiru and Nubian Lee of Firebase Crew both redid Empisazo, the song that was sung by Philly Bongole Lutaya. After his death at the age of 38, the Philly Bongole Lutaya Initiative Association was created by a group of infected and affected peers at that time to help educate people about the dangers of HIV/AIDS. With assistance from UNICEF, the initiative sponsors lecturers in schools and communities across Uganda, highlighting personal testimonials of hundreds of people infected with HIV/AIDS. In Uganda, 17th October is the Philly Bongole Lutaya's Day, obsessed by the Uganda's AIDS Commission. 2014, the daughter of Philly Bongole Lutaya, who is still alive, Mrs. Tezera Lutaya, started a community-based organization called CBO to keep her father's legacy alive. The CBO was to help the socio-economic lives of AIDS orphans and widows through a Philly Bongole Lutaya Vocational Center in Chinonigomba. This is the birthplace of Philly Bongole Lutaya. Remember, before he died, Philly Bongole Lutaya had 3 children. He had 3 children that he left. And Philly Bongole Lutaya was a Ugandan musician who was the first prominent Ugandan to give a human face to HIV/AIDS before his battle with HIV/AIDS, releasing his last album, Alone and Frightened, including this famous song, Alone, influenced by Swedish duo Rexet. That's Philly Bongole Lutaya. Philly Bongole Lutaya falls in the later category. Even in death, Lutaya lives on because of his music and contribution to the fight against HIV/AIDS in Uganda. Philly Bongole Lutaya declared that he had overcome the distress of his ailment and had resolved to use his remaining days on earth to create awareness about HIV/AIDS in a bid to save those who were still safe from the scourge. That's Philly Bongole Lutaya that we are talking about today. Made at a time when stigma against HIV/AIDS was at its highest, when AIDS patients were deeply stressed by society, including their families and friends, and when the life-prolonging or controversial drugs, ARVs, were not yet available. Lutaya's declaration was the optimum of courage and patriotism. His positive living campaign and public disclosure of one's HIV status must have inspired many Ugandans, the likes of Major Lubalamila Ruranga, Reverend Canon Gideon Jamugisha, Beatrice Ware, Dr. Stephen Watiti and Livingstone Kasozi, who also came out publicly about their HIV/AIDS. Reporting his disclosure, the New Vision published the story on 14th April in 1989 with a loud pitchy headline that was saying Lutaya has HIV/AIDS. The following day, the newspaper ran an editorial saying Lutaya deserves the greatest praise for his courage. AIDS is a terrible disease for which there is as yet to be remedy, and yet it is widespread in Uganda. False information is being spread, is still being propagated about AIDS, saying that it is spread by mosquitoes or that herpes zoster comes from mineral poisoning. In this situation, it is important to be frank, honest, and scientific. Many young people were touched by his move. A section of Makerere students from Lumumba Hall Christian Fellowship wrote a letter in the New Vision on 18th April 1989 appreciating Lutaya's act of sincerity and honesty. He left a challenge to the rest of the victims. We also appreciate his return from home purposely to volunteer in AIDS nationwide control campaigns. This was a sign of deep love and concern for the people of Uganda and the world at large. Shortly, that was after the announcement, when he had announced that he had AIDS, Lutaya moved countrywide preaching against promiscuous sexual behavior, talking about the disease in churches and schools, which, with the support of clergymen like Bishop Miseli Kahuma, who was the Bishop of Namirembe Diocese by then. He then flew back to Sweden, where he wrote what turned out to be his best and his send-off album Alone, featuring the epic Alone and Frightened, which was launched in Kampala on 29th September 1989. Lutaya left for Sweden again, but when his death continued to deteriorate, returned back to Uganda on 2nd December 1989 in critical condition. The grounds of Namirembe Cathedral, he could not walk and was carried on stretcher from the plane to awaiting ambulance that speedily took him to Zambia Hospital, where he breathed his last 13 days on December. Grounds of Namirembe Cathedral, their funeral service was held for him, whereby many people are filled. The whole place was full of people, and Lutaya was made to rest. The grounds. Lutaya's warning message to Ugandans to avoid risky behavior was a good contribution to the fight against HIV disease in the country. A dedicated health worker in the fight against AIDS, Okwari was the director of the HIV/AIDS control program in the Ministry of Health in Uganda. He says, Lutaya was buried in Bunamwaya off Entebbe Road. Eventually, Lutaya's openness was adopted as the government's official policy towards HIV/AIDS. That's why we still celebrate him up to now for the good and great legacy that he left in this world. I know many people in this world cannot openly speak about it, cannot tell about it. Most of the people are dying with it, but we should always be free. We should always be open. We speak. And this was Philip Bongole Lutaya. We still remember him for the good music that he sang, for the good things that he did for this country, and we will always sing his songs during Christmas season. Thank you very much for your time. Follow Bile Mutabazi Inspirations on YouTube and Facebook to enjoy the history and the legacy of the people who have contributed greatly to the development and change of this world. I remain Bile Mutabazi, the voice of BMI. Bile Mutabazi Inspirations. Please remember to like this YouTube channel and remember to share this post to help others enjoy the history of great men in this world.